So let me ask you all a question. If I gave you this £50, what would you spend it on? Okay, let's try that again. This is an interactive talk. So if I gave you this £50, it's real money, what would you spend it on? Petrol, food? Wine and beer, okay. Great answers. Well, funnily enough, I'm not going to give you this £50. But £50 is what it can cost you to have a look at your medical information. If you just want to, just have a look at it, it's a tenner. If you want a copy of it, it's £50. And that's after you've put your request to see it in writing. Just think about that. You have to pay to see your medical information. Now, information is everywhere. While standing here, I could check my bank balance. I could check what the temperature is in my house. I could look something up. I could book a holiday. I could even take a picture of the TED audience and share it online. We have access to more information in one day than previous generations had in their entire lives. Now, I must admit, I love information. Watch no end of documentaries, read loads of books, non-fiction, because there's no point in fiction. And I love learning. I was talking about that at an interview, actually, recently. I was talking about my love of learning and of information, and I described myself as a bit of a sponge, which I probably should have thought about. Oh, that's quite funny, because while I'm talking about information, I'm getting a bit of a buzz from my Fitbit, okay? And Fitbit, I love it. I've had it for quite a few months now, and it lets me know about my activity levels, how many steps I've done, that sort of thing. I can set targets for myself, and when I hit my goal, the buzzer goes off. And I'll tell you, it's amazing how motivating a bit of vibration can be. The great thing about the Fitbit, it's given me some information about my health. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think about the health service, I think about it as a place to go when something's gone wrong. In fact, I don't really think about it as a health service. I think about it more as a breakdown service. And I know a lot about breakdown services because I used to run one. People would ring up because their car had broken down. Sometimes we would fix it at the roadside, and if it was more serious, we would take it to a garage for repair. A heart surgeon gave a talk to a group of breakdown operators, and he said to them that they were all in the same business as he was, fixing and repairing. The only difference was he had to do his repairs with the engine running. But the health service isn't called the National Breakdown Service. It's called the National Health Service. So that made me wonder, well, what is the definition of health? Helpfully, the World Health Organisation, who I think probably should know about this sort of stuff, defined health in 1946, and it hasn't changed since. The definition states that health is a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Fantastic! Being well certainly sounds much better than being ill, isn't it? But let me ask you all another question. How many of you have been to your doctors to talk about being well? Anybody? No. Funnily enough, neither have I. Information is fundamental to making decisions and to making changes. The problem is we don't have that much information about our own health. Oh, sorry, this is really embarrassing. I'm getting a text message right in the middle of doing a TED talk. I'm really sorry. If it's all right with you, I'm just going to check it because it could be really important. Sorry. Bear with. Oh, that's nice. It's a text from Flo. She texts me most days to see how I'm doing. She's brilliant because she always asks about me and I never have to bother asking her anything at all. I love her. I also love her because, like me, all her texts are perfectly punctuated with great grammar. She doesn't use any of that text speak. How are you? Flo is actually short for Florence, and Florence is just one of the things that we're using in the Highlands to help people monitor their own health. The great thing about Florence is she's very natural and friendly, so people think they're talking to a real person, and they care what she thinks, and they respond to her. Motiva is a bit of more of a high-tech version. Motiva uses people's televisions to share information, and it's for people with more complex conditions. Users share information such as their weight, their blood pressure, and they respond to answers from their health team, and depending on the answers, that determines what happens next. The health team are automatically alerted if there's something out of the ordinary. So the user shares their health information with the health team. It's almost a complete reverse of the system we have at the moment, and it's just one of the reasons why I love technology in healthcare. Now, I may sound like a technology evangelist and like I'm saying that technology is the answer to everything. I know from personal experience that it isn't always the case. My mum has vascular dementia, so we tried the telecare system. I'm sure you've heard of it. You know, it's the button that you press if you have an emergency. She left the pendant on a hook beside her bed. She left it in the kitchen. She left it in the lounge. She left it everywhere apart from where it should have been, so it wasn't effective. Then we tried a system called Canary Care, and it's a series of transmitters that pick up movement in every room in my mum's house. We could see that she wasn't eating properly because we could see she wasn't in the kitchen long enough to prepare a meal. When the heating packed up, we knew almost straight away because the temperature had dropped by 1 degree. More recently, we've seen that her sleeping has become really erratic, and we've been able to help her with that. Having information has totally transformed our understanding of my mum's dementia. But it's not just us. Users of systems like Flow and Motiva have reported that having information has made them feel more in control. It's given them the confidence to do things they haven't done. It's reduced their anxiety and worry because they can see how they're doing. And they've made better choices because they can understand the impact of things upon their health. Just by having information, they've made better choices. I think that's pretty amazing. There's much discussion about what the future of healthcare is going to be. The only certain thing is it's going to be very different from how it is now. It just has to be. My vision is that we move from being a breakdown service to a well-being service. Let's use technology to take control, to make better choices, and to stay healthy. And in the words of Albert Einstein, a clever person solves a problem, but a wise person avoids a problem.